Hi there, welcome to Tarotland Soap Opera. Today I'm going to do a reading for Scorpio energy. And like usual, we're going to do two lines because we have a dualistic nature. Everybody has free will. Some people harness high vibe Scorpio energies. Some people harness a more worldly focused Scorpio energy. And some people harness much more shadowy Scorpio energy. So the top row is going to be people who want to be in deep, meaningful relationships, who love themselves, who believe in themselves, they believe in their dreams, and they want to be in relationships with other people who want to be in relationships like that too. And the reason for your reading is because of the Seven of Swords. You listen to your intuition. You have a dream. You want to have it come into reality. And other people have a different dream. Their dream could be more about indulging themselves, being self-centered, being prideful, being egotistical, self-centered, or their dream is to be all about making their life about the world, image, status, money, materialism, and not building their life on a foundation of love. They don't want to see the truth. And you dealt with people like that in your life, and you listen to your intuition about it, that you're not on the same page. You have different dreams. You're motivated and inspired by different things in life, and you listen to your intuition. And then you have the Knight of Swords, the Nine of Cups, the King of Cups. You stood up for yourself and spoke your truth, that you find it emotionally fulfilling to be in relationships with other people who take action in their life because of love, who listen to their intuition to guide them, not their fear, not their insecurity, not their emotional defensiveness, not their past pain and heartbreak, not their ego. And you are defending, working together with other people in your life who have that same dream. People who are emotionally independent of their egoic nature, their fear, their insecurity, their pride, their more materialistic view of life. People who are emotionally independent of the world, of their ego, who listen to their heart and intuition to guide them and aren't willing to give up on their dreams and settle for less than they deserve because of fear or insecurity or pride or ego or lust or greed or addictions. So let's see. So that is what the Nine of Swords, the Nine of Cups, and the King of Cups is. And if you have people in your life who you view as being emotionally independent, loving, people who take action in love, who are basically on the same page as you, who have a dream of being in just and fair and balanced and loving relationships, those are the people you're defending. And you might be speaking your truth about people in your life who harness shadowy Aquarius energy, and you have high vibe Aquarius energy. You have hope and faith and belief in your dreams, and you listen to your intuition instead of your fear, your insecurity, your pride, your ego when you make decisions in your life. And you make decisions being emotionally independent of your egoic nature to take action based on love. And you might know some people in your life that might try to present themselves as being that way, but they're more about indulging in relationships, wearing a false mask. They present themselves as being like loving family people in order to get people to be in a relationship with them. But then when they're in a relationship, it's being defensive and it's all about them indulging themselves in the relationship for their wants, their needs, their pride, their ego, their lust, their greed. And you saw the truth. And you moved away from those people because their dream relationship and how they view relationships and their goals in life and what they're motivated and inspired by is different than your goals and what you're motivated by. And so we have these two cards here not showing themselves. On one hand, that could be people in your life that you've cut out of your life because they harness those energies in a shadowy way. And what those shadowy people in your life didn't know about you is that you harness these energies in a high vibe way. The Queen of Cups and the Ace of Swords. The Queen of Cups can be people who still have lessons to learn about love. because in tarot we have the four elements that we deal with: our heart and our mind and our more passionate creative nature and our worldly nature. The Queen of Cups is Scorpio energy, but it can be people who they're still emotionally attached to the past, and they still, because they're still emotionally attached to the past, the way they've lived their life, the way they view life. Oh, well, it has to do, the reason for the reading is the Seven of Swords. Some people are emotionally invested in living their life from their more worldly nature, that emotionally I'm invested in really wanting to look like a shining star in the world, or I want to emotionally invest in other people who really look like a shining star in the world. I want to do life the way I've done it. It could be investing in other people who are in denial of the truth that life is supposed to be about love, and other people who are emotionally invested in looking like a shining star in the world. And if you had people being in a relationship with you because it was good for their ego or their image or their status or made them look like a shining star, but it wasn't really based on truth and love, their view of life and relationships and their truth is different than your truth. So you're cutting those people out of your life because they keep repeating these same patterns and ways of being, and they don't want to see the truth that it is about seeing life from a higher perspective. It is about getting out of your fears and your insecurities and your self-limiting beliefs and having hope and faith and belief in your dreams. But some people don't want to see the truth of that because they're caught up in the illusion of the world. Isn't it about money and materialism and status and image? And then some people are aligned with their more self-centered or egotistical nature, and their truth is, aren't we supposed to be able to be emotionally manipulative in relationships? Isn't that what everyone does? Well, that might be how they grew up. It might be the people that they're used to being in a relationship with. But high vibe people see life from a higher perspective. They don't want to stay in relationships out of fear or insecurity. They don't want to stay in relationships just because, and like stay in jobs just because of the status or the image or the money. We can all do that for a while, but eventually, listening to our intuition, we listen to the truth that there's more to life than indulging ourselves. There's more to life than being in our fear and insecurity and trying to protect ourselves at all costs. There's more to life than looking like you look very successful by worldly standards, but are you listening to your intuition? Is that your truth? And that's what they didn't know about you, is that you know how to love yourself and believe in yourself, and you listen to your intuition to guide you, not your fear, not your ego. And because other people, also, I view the Queen of Cups as Scorpio energy, and you could have been in relationships with people who seem like a counterpart to you, but were they being authentic and honest, or were they hiding the truth that they kind of like to be more emotionally shallow or emotionally superficial, or they have these old ways of being that they haven't worked through that might cause them to be up in their head, and they are not really authentic and warm and loving and giving. They might be people who live more from their mind than their heart, but they might have been in a relationship with you because it looked good, but they're just maybe not people who are willing to change, willing to work through their emotional confusion and illusions and their fears and their insecurities to be in deep, meaningful relationships. So you cut them out of your life. They, on the other hand, don't maybe connect in with their emotions and their intuition. They could live and be more emotionally invested in living more from their mind than their heart, being defensive to love because maybe they did that before, they got hurt, so now they're kind of up in their head about love, kind of operating from pride and ego and emotional defensiveness. And They think if I just present myself in certain ways, other people will want to be in a relationship with me, and I'll just hide the truth about who I am emotionally. And emotionally, they could either be self centered, egotistical, materialistic, fearful of love, and you saw the truth. And you listened to your intuition, and you realized you needed to become emotionally independent of them and love yourself and take action based on your truth and love yourself, believe in yourself so that you could become emotionally independent of the past, so that you weren't making decisions in your life being in denial of the truth, that you had some mental conflict about the past and past relationships that didn't work out. You dealt with it. You loved and believed in yourself to reconcile yourself with the past and to keep believing in your dreams and not letting other people in your past who might have been prideful, egotistical, repeating past patterns, in denial of the truth or whatever, keep you from believing in your dreams, and you keep moving forward. They have never done that in their life, probably some of them, and they maybe never thought you would love and believe in yourself and believe in your dreams to be willing to move away from them or cut them out of your life. And you did. And the people who are in shadowy energy, we have the Seven of Cups. It could be people who love the idea of love, but they have illusions about what it means to be in a relationship. They're kind of in shadow energy. And again, that can be people who like relationships and like to be in relationships. But the thing with the Wheel of Fortune is they never go with the flow, which is kind of about maybe becoming more emotionally independent of their worldly nature, their fearful nature, their insecure nature. Next, we have the Five of Wands. It could be people who have inner conflict about authentically being warm and loving in relationships. They might be people who prefer to wear a false mask again in order to get people to be in a relationship with them, but they really have inner conflict about like being vulnerable in a relationship. And then we have this card that's not showing itself. They might have some things in their life that they don't want to deal with. And it's the Moon. They might reject listening to their intuition. It could be people who get in relationships, they love the idea of love, but then they never do the work within themselves to deal with their own inner conflict. They don't listen to their intuition. They could get into relationships and have this illusion that I can get in relationships and I can keep my emotions buried beneath the surface. I can never deal with my fears and insecurities. But the whole thing is, when you get in relationships with other people who believe in themselves, believe in their dreams. In the Nine of Cups, they've learned how to love and believe in themselves and fill their own cup emotionally, not being codependent and looking to other people to make them feel loved and, all that. They've learned how to do that within themselves. Their cup kind of overflows. They're able to freely give to other people because they're not in their fear and their insecurities, and they've dealt with the issues that they maybe hadn't wanted to deal with in the past. And some people don't want to listen to their intuition. They don't want to deal with those issues that they keep buried beneath the surface. Some people are motivated and inspired to shed layers of their fear and their insecurity and their self limiting beliefs to become all that they can be, to have hope and faith and belief in themselves, to look at life from a higher perspective, having hope and faith and belief that they can heal from past pain and heartbreak. And some people are like, I don't even want to deal with it. It is buried under the surface. Our shadow nature is kind of moving forward, thinking, I have a better idea. I don't have to learn. I don't have to speak my truth. I don't have to learn to become more emotionally independent or love myself. I don't have to take action in love. Can't I just stay in my illusions about love and never move forward dealing with my own inner conflict about the things I don't want to deal with in life? Can't I just, get in a relationship and everything magically will be better? But the thing is, if they don't ever deal with their own, the Five of Wands can be that they could have a competitive nature. They could have a prideful nature, a self centered nature. Some of their illusions about relationships could be, I don't want anything to change. That causes me inner conflict. That's why the Wheel of Fortune is reversed. I don't want to go with the flow. I don't want to grow and mature myself. I want to stay right here. Can't you stay in a relationship with me right here too, where we live in this illusion and nobody has to learn how to love and believe in themselves? No one has to deal with their past pain and heartbreak. No one has to change and grow and mature themselves. I don't want to have to offer love to my inner conflict. I don't want to deal with my shadow nature. I don't want to deal with my fears and my insecurities and my pride and my ego and my selfishness and my greed or my self centeredness or my emotionally defensive nature. Can't we just ignore our intuition, and can't we just be in a relationship and kind of enjoy a relationship and live in illusion and fantasy land? Won't you stay there with me? But, the whole thing of life is that, some people are motivated and inspired to grow and mature themselves to their full potential, and they dream of shedding some of their layers of fear and insecurity and self-limiting belief, and they have hope and faith and belief in themselves. And other people don't want to keep repeating the same old pattern of life over and over and over and over, where I never grow and mature myself and shed some of my layers of my fear and insecurity. And some people have illusions that you shouldn't have to do that in life. Maybe they grew up in families with people who never did that. They, defended living a life of illusion. Look how happy and wonderful we are. None of us ever deal with our inner conflict. None of us ever acknowledge that we might have some, this person can be very codependent. None of us deal with our own inner conflict about being more bold and brave and loving in the world. Can't we just create an illusion that everything is wonderful and this is our truth? And can't we both stay in that? They might not want to move forward in their life because they might have people in their life that would have have a lot of conflict if they did become more independent of people in their life who do live their life that way. Again, it could be their family, their friend group, whatever. And if none of those people become more emotionally independent of their egoic nature or their worldly nature, and they all defend this life of illusion. Look how happy we are. Look how successful we are. Oh no, none of us ever become emotionally independent of our ego or of our fear or of our insecurity or of the world. None of us listen to our intuition. None of us are more bold and brave and confident in life to think that there's any other purpose to be on this planet. It's what the world says it is. We're supposed to buy into the illusion. Isn't it that you get in a relationship for the status and the image and the money and the materialism? And don't we have it all? But we're not listening to our intuition. Our intuition was a gift given to us by the divine. Kind of like bats having sonar. And it is that spark of life within us to shed layers of ourselves, to grow and mature ourselves to our full potential, to get out of our head, to get out of our denial of the truth that we are meant to grow to our full potential. We are supposed to be emotionally independent of our more base, egoic, worldly nature to align with love. That's how we can truly have the deep, meaningful relationships that we want to be in. And some people are like, I have inner conflict about being authentically loving. Again, shadowy Scorpio can be people who like to present the illusion that everything's wonderful, but they kind of keep their emotions buried beneath the surface. And it's a very superficial, shallow relationship. And for some people, that's their comfort zone. You know, I don't like to deal with, I mean, we're emotionally complex human beings. We got a lot of emotions. It can be hard to deal with, and some people don't want to deal with them. Some people right now could be trying, the Seven of Cups can also be trying to confuse people about the truth. If they had been in relationships with people who are emotionally independent, who aren't caught up in the illusion and the rat race of the world, and shouldn't we stay in the relationship because it looks really successful? And what if I wear this? And what if we drive that? And what if we take pictures that we went on this vacation? And maybe I should go get this job that I don't even like, but it pays me really well and it'll look like we're really successful. It's all this stuff of superficiality. And if they were in a relationship with someone who's more independent and loving, who saw the truth of some people in their life that are much more superficial, who love and believe in themselves, some people that you could have known in your life really could be, have a lot of, it kind of kicks up their negative energy. They could live their life that way too, but sometimes people just like to present themselves as being that way in the world. I'm just, I'm fair, I'm loving, I'm all these things, but it's really just a false mask that they wear in order to get people to get in relationship with them. And then they're defensive of being more emotionally independent and loving. They like people to buy into the illusion of who they say they are. And then they hope that the people that they get in relationship won't want to like grow and mature themselves, won't require them to grow and mature themselves, because they have a lot of inner conflict about that. Maybe they have inner conflict of seeing life from a higher perspective, of believing there's more to life than creating this facade in the world and keeping yourself emotionally protected from being hurt. High vibe Scorpio is willing to go through the highs and lows of life emotionally, like, bring it on, God. I came here as a soul to free myself from my fear, my insecurity, my ego. Yeah, I'm willing to do the highs and lows of life. I know every relationship isn't going to work out. I'm willing to do it anyway. And some people are like, oh, won't you be fearful and afraid too of moving forward? Won't you stay in a relationship with me and defend being in a relationship with me if I present myself as like a loving family person and create the illusion that we're happy? Won't you stay in a relationship with me because of your own fear and insecurity of loving and believing in yourself and believing in your dreams? I gave up on my dreams. I just live a life of a facade now. Won't you do that too? And some of those people that you could know in your life really didn't like that you really are the real deal. You're not caught up. Our shadow nature and our more base worldly nature can make us feel imprisoned, enslaved, restricted, confined, because our worldly nature is kind of represented by the devil. And love wants us to free ourselves from our more worldly nature, our fear, our insecurity, our more immature, indulgent, lustful, greedy, emotionally defensive nature, to be free, to see life from a higher perspective. That if we become more emotionally independent of our more worldly nature and we take action in love, the divine wants us to have our divine inheritance to really bring our dreams into reality. But sometimes we don't love and believe in ourselves, so we just work with the world. We live more from our mind than our heart. We try to create this illusion that we've created these loving situations in our life, but did we really? Is it really got us up in our head? Because it really, we settled for like less than we deserved. We worked with the things of the world versus listening to our intuition and having hope and faith and belief in our dreams. And so the people who try to present themselves as being high vibe could really be in their ego about the fact that you really are who they pretend to be. And that can kick up their envy and their jealousy. And sadly, instead of listening to their intuition and taking that cup of love to believe in themselves and walk away, because we have the 7, we have the ace, and then we have the 9. If people were to invest love into their fears, their insecurities, their self-limiting beliefs, they would be able to walk away from their more worldly nature, their more egoic nature, their more competitive nature, their more envy, jealous, prideful, egotistical nature, and they too could see life from a higher perspective and have hope and faith and belief in their dreams. But some people refuse to listen to their intuition that is trying to guide them, because the divine wants us to have our divine inheritance. The divine wants us to be free. But some people keep emotionally investing in the illusion. They refuse to go with the flow. They refuse to align with their more loving, hopeful, believing nature. And they keep emotionally investing in their more shadowy nature of their ego, thinking they know better. I could get hurt doing that. I've maybe been hurt before. I don't want to do that. I want to keep investing in the illusion. I don't want to see the truth. I don't want to change. I don't want to go with the flow. I don't want to deal with my own inner conflict. I don't want to deal with the people in my life who might not like the fact that I want to live my life more emotionally independently. I'm not willing to stand up for myself. I'm not willing to speak my truth. Some people just aren't moving forward with you because they'd have to speak their truth. Maybe that loving people who were intuitive, who wanted to have a dream come into reality with me, I rejected them. Some people rejected loving people in their life because they were tempted to not change how they view life, how they view themselves in the world, and they were tempted to emotionally invest in their more worldly, egoic, competitive, defensive nature. And then that could have manifested in their world, where the competition, not the loving people in their life, the loving people were probably already trying to encourage this person to love and believe in themselves, but the divine knew that this is an injustice. If you're in relationships with people and you're being loving and encouraging and you're trying to get them to get out of their fears or their insecurities or their self-limiting beliefs to love and believe in themselves, there comes a time where people aren't like moving in life the way they should be moving in life, going with the flow. And the divine knew the truth that this person has a lot of ego or stubbornness or self-centeredness or issues to deal with that they don't want to deal with. And so kind of like what they were aligned with and were trying to manifest in their life came into reality, and the competition offered them a new emotional beginning. Someone else who said, I'm motivated and inspired by those same things you are, or I want to be in a relationship with you. You should not move forward with the loving people in your life. You should quit listening to your intuition because you don't want to listen to your intuition anyway. You should cut out the loving, truthful, honest people in your life because you don't want to do that anyway. And you should align with me and not move forward in your life. Be in your ego, your emotionally defensive nature, your prideful, competitive nature, your jealous, envious nature, and you should invest in us or me. And that's kind of what they manifested, because if they weren't willing to move forward in love, they have a lot of inner conflict and fear and insecurity about it. They decided to invest in their more shadowy nature and fearful nature and prideful nature. And then it manifested into reality. And then they went and invested emotionally in the people in their life who are probably happy that they're in their fear and their insecurity, that they're prideful or lustful or greedy or have addictions, because then those people can manipulate and control them for their own selfish, greedy, prideful, competitive reasons. And the whole reason is because the divine needed you to see the truth, because you maybe had illusions that this person had the same dream as you did, because we can project our ways of being onto other people because we tend to view other people in the world as being like ourselves, and you weren't seeing the truth. And so eventually you did see the truth and you needed to become emotionally independent of them and take action in loving and believing in yourself to bring your dreams into reality. And even though they could be people in the Queen of Cups, people that you have deep affection for, have an emotional connection with, their truth is different than your truth. Their dream is different than your dream. Their ideas of what it means to be in a relationship is different than your ideas of what it means to be in a relationship. Again, people in shadow could be people who have a lot of inner conflict about being loving, being just and fair. They're kind of tip more into their fearful or insecure or emotionally defensive. I've got to protect myself at all costs, which ends up being very egotistical and self-centered. Or they are just very egotistical and self-centered, and it is all about them. And they don't want to change. They could be people who are very competitive in the world and you weren't seeing the truth of that. They could be people very prideful and egotistical and you weren't seeing the truth of that. So the divine had to get them out of your life, you know, because you could be a very loving, nurturing person, and or that could have been a pattern of relationship that you're also used to, where you enable other people in their poor behavior and you don't get the justice you deserve in a relationship. And the divine knows that you're a loving person, that you don't operate from your more egoic, petty, envious, jealous, controlling nature. And it was an injustice and it needed to stop. In the Wheel of Fortune, this relationship cannot move forward anymore. You know, and then kind of like the divine wants us all to grow and mature ourselves and learn lessons in life. And if there was no lesson to learn in there, you know, you'd already learned the lesson, the other people maybe hadn't. They hadn't dealt with some of their fears and insecurities or their ego nature or their worldly nature. It needed to stop because they were indulging in a relationship with you and you were being loving and nurturing and supportive, and that's not fair. And you needed to invest in loving yourself and filling your own cup and believing in yourself and standing up for yourself and believing in your dreams. What do people who harness high vibe Scorpio energy? Yeah, you dream. The Nine of Cups is also about a dream. You dream of being in relationships with people who harness high vibe Cancer energy. People who take action in the world, listening to their intuition and love to guide their life. Not pride, ego, fear, insecurity. You have a dream and you're listening to your intuition. What do people in high vibe Scorpio energy have coming in their life? We have the Two of Pentacles, the Ace of Wands, and the Ten of Cups. As you keep maintaining your balance and not indulging in your more fearful, insecure, impulsive, reckless energy and indulging other people who are like that, and you keep maintaining your balance and taking the lessons you've learned to be bold and brave and confident in your life and invest in moving forward in your life, choosing to align with your more loving, hopeful, believing nature and staying focused on that, you're going to have new beginnings with other people who are on the same page as you. And it looks like, you know, when other people see that you have detached from people in your life who might have been more selfish, greedy, prideful, manipulative, and that you've maintained your balance and that you're emotionally independent of them and you're taking action in love, there's other people that are going to want to be in friendships and relationships with you because they see that you're not like a petty, jealous, competitive, prideful, egotistical person, you know? What about the people that harness shadowy Scorpio energy? And you're going to have people in your life who stand up and defend you because they see that you are someone who's loving and warm and giving and truthful and honest, and they think you're a dream come true. You know, and they want their dreams to come into reality with you, and they're going to stand up for you against people in the world or in your life or in your family or friendship group or workplace who are trying to indulge in pride and ego and competitiveness with you. What do people who harness some shadowy Scorpio energy? What's coming up in their life? The Six of Cups. The Six of Cups talks about repeating past patterns. There's probably issues from their childhood, which can just be based on how they viewed other people in relationship. Isn't that how we're supposed to live our life? Some people don't have that creative spark within them to take the good things about the past and add on it. You know, it's kind of like, oh no, I lack any creativity. I have inner conflict about being bold and brave and confident. I just want to do everything the way my family did it or the way I saw people growing up, or I want people to act and interact with me the same way people did when I was a child. And for some of them, it's letting them be immature, indulgent, living in fantasy land, repeating these same old patterns, and people are just supposed to indulge them being that way. And, you know, that's probably what they're going to keep doing. There's things that about their past, maybe, that they don't want to see the truth about. The truth would set them free because right now they're in shadowy energy like fear, insecurity, pride, ego, defensiveness. There's things that they don't want to see, so they're going to keep repeating that pattern because they can't move forward. They haven't seen the truth. They can't live their life any differently because they haven't seen the truth, or they don't want to see the truth, or they're in denial about a truth. And they keep thinking repeating this pattern and living their life this way will make them happy. That's like their dream, is to keep living life that way. And the divine is going to try to guide them to see that by not moving forward in your life and resisting change, resisting becoming independent of the past, loving yourself, believing in yourself so you can live your life more independently, is going to cause them a lot of inner conflict. Because they keep doing things the same way they've always done it. They keep not dealing with these emotions or something that they keep buried. And it's going to cause them a lot of inner conflict. And they might manifest what they think is their dream relationship. And like, oh my gosh, if I could just get someone who's willing to do life the way I do it, where nobody moves forward, nobody deals with their inner conflict, I think they're going to find out that they're going to be in something. They're going to see other people in their life who grow and mature themselves. And they're going to see that they feel stuck. And they could get in relationships with other people who are like themselves, who also have a lot of inner conflict about being more open and authentic and loving, who also might operate more from pride and ego and emotional defensiveness. And the divine is trying to get them to look at life from a higher perspective. You thought this was the way you wanted to live your life, but is it really? Is this how you want to live your life? Where nothing changes? Where people keep being kind of manipulative and controlling? Really? That might be your comfort zone. That might be the type of people you grew up with. It might be what you know. really, is this what you're willing to do? And they have free will. If that's what they want to keep emotionally investing in, why would people keep doing that? Because it might make them maintain kind of a sense of stability and balance within themselves. For some people to see the truth that maybe they are prideful and egotistical, and seeing the truth of that could just rock their world. Like, oh my gosh, I believed I was like this. Am I really competitive? Am I kind of self centered? Am I kind of prideful and egotistical? I mean, there's some people who want to keep that buried forever. And if they can get in a relationship with other people who don't want to deal with their issues either, who don't want to, what was this card? Who don't want to see the truth that they also could have a lot of inner conflict about seeing life from a higher perspective. They too could have given up on their dreams to get in relationships because of money and status and image. It's like, okay, here, you got it. Is this it? Is this really? Some people haven't learned that they think all those things of the world and looking like a shining star in the world will make them happy. It's kind of like indulging in the things of the world. People can invest in money and status and power just like people invest in drugs and alcohol. I'm sure that'll make me feel better. I'm sure I don't have to learn how to love myself. I'm sure I don't have to deal with any of my inner conflict. I'm sure I can keep all my emotions buried beneath the surface. They can. The universe is always going to be there trying to offer them love, to encourage them to love and believe in themselves. But if that's how they choose and want to live their life, and they don't want to deal with their inner conflict, they have that free will choice. If they want to make their life all about keeping up with the Joneses and being in competitive energy and not living their authentic life emotionally, they can. They got free will. It's just not the way that people who harness high vibe energy want to live their life. They want to truly be in deep, meaningful, loving relationships. They don't want to settle for less than they deserve just because of the status or the image or keeping up with the Joneses, or living a life out of their fear or their insecurities. So, high vibe people are moving forward. You're going to be investing in other people as you move forward in your life. Other people are going to want to invest in you. When we quit investing our time and energy into people who have inner conflict about being loving, it frees us up. It's kind of like not indulging and investing time and energy in our ego, in our fear, in our insecurities. It opens us up to invest time and energy into our more loving, hopeful, believing nature and other people who live their life that way. So there you go, Scorpio. I wish you peace, love, and joy, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.